Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to just dig into part 3 here. So basically the last couple of videos has been, going through families and going through what the devil's been doing in the upcoming events and where we are in this long walk in history of the calling up of God's people. You can look at it and think that you're ready. You may be ready. You may not be ready. You may be in one of those situations where you're teeter-tottering on this teeter-totter and thinking, I'm good, I'm going to make it, and you're going to take a chance. Well, you think about the Bible, you think about Revelation, and you think about going all the way up to Genesis, and you think about the beginning of time when we look at what Lucifer did all the way through from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Now, you got to understand something here. The devil is not quitting. He's gaining ground. And you see all these identifying things. I mean, you're seeing grown men dressed up like dogs and girls dressing up like cats and dogs and all these things. I mean, for crying out loud, people, I was just told a while back that they put litter boxes in classrooms, and these students are literally going to the bathroom in these litter boxes. We think there's nothing wrong with this. When you take God out of everything and you put the devil into everything, this is what you get. I shared in the video a while back where the teacher was using the restroom. She came out and washed her hands, and a girl was being raped by a guy that claimed to be a girl. Exactly what I said was going to happen. Here it is happening. To understand what the devil's capable of doing, you have to understand what he is doing. We take God out of schools, we take the Pledge of Allegiance, we take everything and we bow down to Lucifer, and then people get shocked and surprised by what's going on. You got to understand, God is forever. God doesn't change. Lucifer copies everything God does. So you look at what's going on, and now we go, Lucifer, we have the trinity of the false prophet. We have Damien, the son, and we have Lucifer. We have Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. So many people believe, disbelieve. I mean, how can you believe in the Bible and be a Christian and claim to not believe in hell? I mean, how can you believe in hell and not believe in heaven? It's kind of a back and forth where you go. It's really difficult for people to comprehend, I guess, is a better word I'm looking for, because you haven't seen it. Well, trust me, you don't want to see it. The Bible speaks exactly what it is: gnashing of the teeth, burning. You go into the Gospel of Mark, speaks of it. Revelation speaks of it. Leviticus speaks of it. You look at the book of Daniel. You look at Revelation. I mean, God made hell for Lucifer and the fallen angels. Now, unfortunately, people want to join Lucifer there, and they're joining them very quickly. You look at the Illuminati. You look at today's music industry. You look at the NFL. I mean, we can go right down the line of how much corrupted there is out there. I say the NFL, yes, because you look at Alicia Keys coming out there in the all red with the red cape, the red piano. Come on, people. What do you think this is? Then you look at Beyonce doing that phone commercial, all red phones, red disc. People, if you literally think that this isn't demonic activity, then I don't know what to tell you. I've always kept these videos about truth. I've always kept these videos without putting the sugar in, coating it down. I'm giving it to you just the way it is. It's time to wake up. It's time to get ready. It's time to examine and really look at it. The one thing from the beginning of Genesis all the way through the Bible, there was one person that constantly spoke about hell. One person, and that was Jesus Christ. Go through the Bible and look. You're going to see Jesus was constantly telling people what hell was like. You look at the book of Daniel when they put Meshach, Abednego in I always forget. I always want to call him Raphael, the Ninja Turtle. But anyways, Meshach, Abednego, and I don't know. It comes to me and then it doesn't come to me. But either way, they were in a fiery furnace, people. See, Nebuchadnezzar knew burning them. The same as what's going to happen. You're disobedient, the fire awaits you. See, Nebuchadnezzar knew these very things. Put fear, frighten. See, God's giving you the warnings. God's giving you the signs. God's telling you what this is going to be like. The gnashing of teeth with the grinding of the teeth. I told you, I seen powder. It looked like powder falling out people's mouth. And the roots and stuff being exposed. And through that, what happens? It gets restored, but the pain doesn't go away. Cast into fiery pits. Well, what awaits you? The fiery pits. You're not going to be exempt from this, people. It doesn't matter how much good deeds you do, how much good works you do, the things you're doing, because your mind and your heart speaks to God. You can't hide your heart. If you walked up to Jesus today and presented your heart and said, "This is all I have," Jesus would, I guarantee it, look at you and say, "This is all I have ever wanted from you. To be truthful to me and to deliver your heart to me." But we're too busy on appearance. We're too busy on judging people. We're too busy looking at thinking we're better than somebody else. We're too busy falsely accusing people. We're too busy putting zingers onto people. And what I mean by zingers, and I mean by using their life to flip it and throw something at them. Throw daggers. It's okay. I have people do it to me all the time. They take stuff out of my life and they throw it on me without even asking or without even knowing. I had a person ask me today, "Well, what exactly did happen to you?" Meaning my face-wise. And then when I run it down to them, it's pure quiet. You know, and it doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't matter anymore what people think. You know, I know God has a purpose, plan, and the reason for everything in my life, and I know what He does in my life is simple. And I accept it. Whether or not He removes family, He removes friends, He removes anything out of my life, I accept it. I'm not questioning God. I'm not putting God in a box. I'm not going into these areas to where I go, You know why? Because God knows my timeline. I don't. You know, we can't blame ourselves for what our children do, people. We can't blame ourselves for what we have done in the past because we have made excuses. I've made plenty of excuses for myself only. I've never blamed anybody else for anything that I have done in my whole entire life. I've never blamed anybody else. I've done it myself. You know why? Because it's giving the devil credit for things that he has put in there. You know, our children love to try to put the guilt trip on us, and it doesn't work with me. You know, if I hear from them, I hear from them. If I don't, I don't. At this point in life, in this point in time frame, I come to grow through this conclusion of life thinking, oh well, it is what it is. At least I don't have to go through and be judged or listen to a bunch of nonsense that I know isn't true. Because they choose to believe what it is. But the crazy thing is, some of them claim to be Christians, and my thing is one of the things of a Christian spirit is the fact of forgiveness, the fact of not being judgmental, not holding grudges. And I mean, we can go down the line. And first of all, the ones that really do hold all this stuff against me has no reason to, because I proved beyond the shadow of anything in life that what you thought was totally wrong. But that's okay. Use what you have to do to keep somebody out of your life. I look at God on my end and go, God, if this is what you want, then let it be. Give me peace with it. And He has. You know, I don't see nobody knocking on the door saying, "Hey, Dad, do you need help? Hey, Dad, how you feeling today?" You know, it's not. You know, it's like no matter what my father did to me and was horrible things, I was still down there helping him. I was still down there doing what I had to do. I was there on his final days on his deathbed when nobody else was. And I'm glad I was. You know, I kind of told my father off at the very end, and I'm glad I went back and apologized that day, because if God wouldn't have led me back to apologize, he passed away that same day. And when I went back and apologized, I just felt him grab my hand, which I knew something. I knew something was strange about that, because he was paralyzed. He couldn't move because his final stroke that he had just kind of wiped everything out of him. And you know, to see tears running down his face, I've never seen that man cry a day in my life. And you know, honestly, it's not that I'm sad about it. I never really knew him, and I tried so hard to be a part of his life. I tried so hard to be like him, and you know, be the best boxer I could, and it was never good enough. No matter what I did, no matter what I brought home and showed him, and you know, he always had something to say about it. You know, coming from a Golden Glove boxer, you know, yeah, I listened to him all the time, because he had great advice on things, and you know, you just try to be a part of something. Well, I learned later on in life that you can't change who you are to make someone else happy. You know, I've been accused of so many things around this world, and I look at what the devil does with it. And if I stood still long enough, the devil would have controlled me again. So you can't let family or friends or anybody control and change who you are. You know, the Bible clearly speaks of hell. It clearly speaks what's coming with it. And if you think that you can escape it, but you can't escape what's going on here on this earth, how are you going to be strong enough to escape what's coming there? I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to. And it's honestly, is some people that claim to be so miserable and so lost and so upset. Let me ask you something. If you're in such pain right now and such suffering and such grieving of what you're going through right now, do you really, and you're free to walk around, you're free to do stuff, but in hell you're not going to have that freedom. So you explain to me, how then can you explain that what the life you're living and what you're doing is worth going to hell for, and living that torture over and over and over, and that torment, and that unending, hopeless situation? Please explain how you're going to be able to overcome that if you can't even overcome a simple thing that's happening in your life now. See, you're not going to be able to call on Jesus, because Jesus isn't going to answer, because he's not going to hear you. When Jesus receives the chosen ones that God calls out of that book of life, he's going to be sealed off from this earth, because he's going to be spending time with the ones that were found worthy to come to him. You know, I described hell. I told you what it's like. I told you the events that's going to take place there. And, you know, when you're found guilty of hell, every single thing you have done in every sin, you are going to live. You're going to be punished by these demons for every sin that you have done. lying, theft, adultery. I mean, you think of adultery, people. It's crazy. And adultery goes into thoughts, it goes into actions, it goes into, so many things. Just harmful flirtation can be the same thing, because your mind starts wandering. As we would say, undressing somebody with your eyes. The devil loves to make things appear quickly and more quickly. Because you look at it with your eyes, and as food or anything else, you want it. You want to be around it. I don't know, man. I've been seeing these visions. I've been seeing the end times. I've been seeing this whole thing with New York. And I had somebody email me today. I was just reading it right before I started this video, saying, "Have you figured out who the person is with the brown hair? And if not, does it really mean that much to figure it out?" No, it's not that I need to figure it out. I'm just curious of why this is such a mystery. Why is the Lord keeping this person a mystery when I can clearly see everybody else's faces? So I was just curious. I was just curious by it. All I know is that this person, through all these events and everything that's going on, and the person that is with me all the way through the back and forthness, through all these, again, through all this happening, the things that I described from the beginning of this flood all the way through it, and going into Eden, going into all these tunnels and these caves. This person is the same person that's through this stuff. So naturally, I'm kind of curious to see who's going through this journey with me, and yes, it is right. It happens right after the final person is raised up out of here. This happens. I've seen the eclipse. I've seen darkness coming with it. I've seen shutdown coming with it, like our banks, food crisis. You look at the food pantries and stuff now, the rising of things, the lack of food that's happening. The Lord said all these things would come, but he also said that, look at my people would look at my people and say, why are they receiving such favor? But now you got to understand something. In the same token, we are getting ready to be persecuted. I've seen people being killed and stuff for confessing Jesus Christ as their personal Savior. How many of you is going to be able to withstand that? I don't think too many of you will. I really don't. I think too many of you are riding the fence. I truly, really do. Because if you see somebody starting to be beaten and cut open, or pretty much gut it like a fish, or burnt or whatever, chopping their heads off, you're going to think twice. But remember what the Lord said: you deny me, and I shall deny you in front of my Father. It's a fine line. It's how much of that line you're willing to walk. So, I don't know. I know I woke up this morning. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I know I woke up. It was I finally got out of bed about 4:30, but I laid back. I laid on the bunk back here for about 2.5 hours, just thinking and praying, and I just come to this conclusion. I just want the wrong for people out of my life. And I asked Jesus to remove this. I don't care who it is, and some things I've been not speaking on because I felt it was the right way to do, and not that I'm afraid of what anybody's going to say, because anybody's been on this channel long enough, and that doesn't bother me. by now, people. I'm sure people have seen it. And, you know, and again, you know, people, I don't come against people, and I hope nobody ever takes it that way, but I'm not going to allow the devil to get a stronghold on something, and I sure ain't going to let someone come on here and try to make me look like I don't know what the heck I'm talking about either. And that's fine. That's your opinion of it. I know what Jesus gives me, and I'll stand by what he gives me. And I will surely never ever apologize for anything that I believe that I done the right thing, and I did it the right way. But the amazing part is you have to understand Jesus is coming. You got to understand all these events must continue to take place, and all these failures and all this destruction and all these wars are going to happen here on the United States. They're going to put us in lockdown. I guarantee it. They're going to tell you when you can work. They're going to tell you how you can work. They're going to tell you where you're going to work. They're going to put all this stuff in, and they're going to give you this kind of like a little car that you're going to be able to swipe, and people are going to bring you food. You know, it's happening more and more in front of us. We're seeing these drive-up services. We're seeing DoorDash, and we're seeing all these things, the Uber Eats thing, and it's becoming more and more ridiculous. When he locks it all down, good luck. Good luck. So I don't know. I can honestly say I'm going to work twice as hard from this moment forward to be able to get into the pocket and not fall back out of it. So I just kind of wanted to wrap this part up and give you some nuggets to gather and to think on, and truly look at your life, and don't let a distraction take you away from where God and Jesus is. Don't become boastful. Don't become pridefulness. Do what you have to do to continue to move your children forward. Pray for your children. Pray for your grandchildren. That's the best spiritual warfare that you can give anybody. Again, I'd ask for prayers for Darlene to be able to see her grandchild Chloe. I apologize, people. I mean, I am beyond super tired, but I felt the need to come on here and get this done. So, again, I'm trying to be obedient to Christ above all things and get through this. But I'm just trying to think if I got everything that I wanted to say done with. But either way, I'm going to move on. I'm going to get ready to jump into a couple more videos, and then I'm going to announce all these things that I've been putting in place and doing, and keep moving forward. I don't know what's going to happen with this eclipse. All I can say is that start praying. You know, I just pray for God's will to be done, and I accept whatever it is, whatever's coming from it. I accept it, and I'm pretty much ready for it. So, hopefully, if we're not 100% ready, then hopefully it's nothing but more than just a simple eclipse, and we go on and keep moving on to examine ourselves and to make ourselves ready. But either way, people, God bless you, love you. Thank you for being a part of this. And I normally wouldn't say this, but please like the videos if you like them, because it'll spread these videos into other places. And don't hesitate to share these videos and get them across there. It's the best thing we can do right now, is to spread our word. And watch out for these false prophets. Watch out for these copycat people. Watch out for these people that are putting stuff together and trying to sell you stuff. Be cautious of this, people. You know, look at that Mandy girl. I told you guys, and some of you got really pissed off at me for saying what I said. And I called it out exactly what she was. She was a fraud. If you see some of her newer stuff, oh my gosh, you would totally agree with me. And I'm not judging her. I'm not coming against her. I'm just saying, I hope some of you really are... I can't even speak. I hope some of you really truly see what the Lord gives me, and truly exposes to things before they happen. And the other part of it is that I pray that you never gave this girl money. But if you did, God will bless you for it and for doing the right things. So, one of the last things that I have written down, and the very thing that I'm just going to say, if you guys have any requests before I dig into this next stuff on something you've heard in the video or something more you want of, now's the time to do it, because honestly, once I start this next few steps, it's going to be jam-packed with a lot of information, and it's going to take some time to get through it. So let me know you guys' thoughts. God bless you guys. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your devotion to God. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for being a part of this channel and on this roller coaster ride. I know it hasn't always been easy, but thank you guys for remaining strong and continue to move forward.